So, hello guys. I'm sorry. I've been still eating some frozen strawberries, and so my mouth is a little bit cold. Yeah, welcome. I'll be streaming another league race today from another league. It's the Division 2 season finale of the Aerodynamix League, and the finale is set in China on the Shanghai International Circuit, which is a pretty cool and interesting circuit because it has some really interesting characteristics many circuits don't have. Like, they have two snake corners, which are very interesting corners. Also in 2007, Lewis Hamilton stuffed up his first world title here because he braked too late going into the pits and sending himself into the gravel trap. I hope no other driver in today's qualifying or race will have that issue, but we'll see what happens. We'll now take a look at the Drivers and Constructors Championship, because in the Drivers Championship it is all very much decided, because we have Drew Santi with a Ferrari on 125 points, and the only two people that could catch up are Shade and Andre, but they are miles away, with Shade 19 points away and Andre 10 points away. So Drew basically just needs to finish in the points to become champion. And also in the Constructors Championship it's much more interesting because we've got three people fighting for the title, because we've got Haas with 173 points leading the way. Then after that we got AlphaTauri, who have just 11 points difference with 162 points, and after that we've got Ferrari, which have outside of chances with 154 points. So we'll see what happens. And I need to fix my UI very fast, so just give me a second. Also, we've got short qualifying in this league, not the full qualifying we're used to in other leagues. But I think I've got it all, so we just need to find ourselves a driver we can ride with. Yeah, we've got Admiral in his McLaren, who's still very much in the fight for 7th place, and with a good qualifying position he can do a lot. Also starting on the mediums, the harder compound, because the softs in China are kind of rubbish, because the softs, when you use them in qualifying, only last like 5 laps, which is nothing. So Amirul trying to get on a good position with the mediums so he can start on them, because a 2-stop often is a big disadvantage to 1-stop, because you just need to do an additional stop. But because this is a league race and I actually don't know how good everyone in this league is, I don't know how many safety cars will occur, so maybe a 2-stop will be equally fast, if not faster, than a 1-stop, because you don't lose it as many times in the pits. But yeah, I also hear that we have 3 reserve drivers driving today instead of standard drivers, because there's nothing going on in the championship, because they're trying to become full-time drivers in the next season. So we see how that pans out, as well as we see Amarul going through his last corner and starting his hot lap. McLaren still very much in the championship fight against Racing Point, as there's only 4 points between them. So we will see how it pans out and how good this race is gonna be. But I think there's a lot of decisions that are gonna be made in the season finale, and I'm very excited that I'm gonna be the one who commentates with it, as the second McLaren of Ryan Mislicky disconnects or something. I don't know what happened there, but he's not gonna go any further in qualifying and will start from P16, which is not good. That might just blow the championship for Racing Point wide open, but Racing Point only having one driver today, who is Obliviate, who showed his talent in the Delta Pace Racing League in the yesterday, because he dominated the League 3 race. So very solid driver. As Emeril crosses the line and got him to a 132 flat, and Akram gets 3 tenths faster. And Andy Meister beats that lap with 7 tenths faster and drives a 1:31.047. As we follow Purdy through the second snake turn, as someone would call it, or snail turn, because it looks like a snail house, going through that DRS track as Alex goes onto provisional pole with a 1:30.9. Let's see what Purdy's lap is gonna be. I assume he wasn't an outlet, or he just drove a lap that was not that good. But let's follow Jui through the last hairpin. Accelerates very nicely out of it. Through the last side, and he's messing up here now. Yes. Crosses the line in P5. So let's see where that carries Martin. He is currently 12th place, last person of the people who already drove. But with a big gap to 11th. Almost 3 seconds. So his back lap has to be a banger. As we follow Obliviate to that first turn, that will also be a very interesting turn during the race start. Because everything decelerates very suddenly and then you're going for a long time at slow speed. As you follow up a little bit through a turn, through a curvy and tricky middle sector. Let's see which person set the time on the mediums. That could also be very interesting to see. We see Emerald, the fastest person on the news, with a 1:32.0. So he might not like that, or he might like that. So he might, yeah, he's already going out in the softs. Then Andre, who also was on the mediums, as Obliviate almost spins it and invalidates his lap time. as we follow Obliviate. I don't know if he does a second hot lap, because his first was invalidated. But he's right now going through a tricky double turn, accelerates into the curve and just goes a little bit too much on the outside and invalidates his lap time. So no valid lap set yet by Obliviate, as we are riding right now with Shade on his first hot lap. He also already got 10 minutes passed in the session, only 8 minutes remaining. He all right now set A, purple to a trapdoor. Going to the final corner right now. It just brakes. I don't know what that's supposed to be. As we see, Amirul and Alex completely obliterating the lap times that were set before for pole. As Andre gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Ice One. As we see Gresco currently on a hot lap, he has no valid lap time set yet, and I think it's his first lap out. Going through the second sector right now, through a tricky curvy part of the racetrack. Through a tricky double turn. Going through the second snail turn now. He might lose his rear a bit. No, it just looked like it, but comes through a turn very nicely indeed. He's the only one who didn't set lap time yet, and he's now gonna do one. As he goes around final corner and goes over the finish line in P9. But I assume there's more into that lap. Because I didn't watch the whole lap, but looks like he made a few mistakes. As he goes into the gravel to leave through Ice 1. Let's see how the other drivers are doing. We see Ting 32. Currently looks like he's on the hot lap. Because he got 0 laps set with that tire. And he's not on an out lap. As he sets a purple middle sector. Oh, runs a bit wide through that turn. Might not have gone on the gas, on the throttle as quick as he would have wanted it. That might cost him a little bit of time because that straight is long. I think that's in the top 5 or top 10 longest straights on the F1 calendar. And if you get a bad exit out of the turn, because the turn is really tricky, it's really easy to get a bad exit out of that turn. But let's see where the clock stops for Ting. And that's just gonna be slightly better than his lap before and doesn't give him P3. I don't know if he's on another hot lap. If he's taking the slipstream of his teammate Ice 1. It might be, but no he isn't. As he slows down. Yeah, that's where the two Renaults trying to make space for the Mercedes. And I don't know what Ice 1 is doing there. Makes Ting run wide. That's not good teamwork between teammates. And what did Ice 1 do there? Looks like he spun himself or something. As Martin tries his luck on the mediums. He was already 7/10 off in the second sector. I think I saw that correctly. As he locks up both front tires, going through that hairpin. As Ice 1 gives up the session. What's that lap gonna be good for? It's a 132.6, which is really solid for a medium lap. And what's he doing there now? He's just damaging the tire. I think I wouldn't want to... Martin also gives up the session. Well, that's interesting. As we also only got 4 seconds remaining, I completely missed that. So, we've got Amirul on his final lap. Or let's follow Andy Turner, because he doesn't improve on his time anymore, and we've got the top 3 all still on a hot lap. As we see Amirul going through that hairpin, accelerating out, and see where the clock stops him. Because he's already P1, all he can do is improve on his lap time, so it's harder for Alex or Andy to catch him. His lap time is going to be 1:30.241, so slight improvement. But here comes the Red Bull of TS Alex. Is he gonna improve and maybe go on provisional pole? He might only need 1.5 sets. No, he's boxing. So Andy Meister may be able to just go onto pole or align together with Amirul on the second row. as he goes through a final turn, and he stays P3. So qualifying session is ended. So what do we learn from qualifying? The two Williams were very strong in qualifying, aligning P3 and P5, although they are just P8 in the Constructors' Championship. And we've got none of the top 3 teams in the championship in the top 3. The first one is Tink Twitch for... No, he's not. The first one from the top 3 teams in the championship is Ju. And after that we've got Gresco, but we've got Emerald for the McLaren team, which looks really good for McLaren to take over the 4th place. And we've also got TS on P2, Andy Meister on P3, Tink on P4, Akram on P5, Verbisk and Martin in the Mercedes on P6 and P8. Very strong result for them. And Ju and Gresco on P7 and 10, both for Ferrari, and Andy Turner on P9 for Alfa Romeo. But we'll see how all of that unfolds if we have a turn 1 collision. I assume we will have, because turn 1 is very difficult in China. And yeah, we'll just see how the whole race unfolds. But yeah. I think we're just gonna start formation lap now. And while the drivers are doing formation lap soon, I can talk a little bit. I don't know about what we can talk. We can talk a little bit about the track. I assume we've got 2 major overtaking points in the circuit. The first one is the long straight, which I already mentioned, which is, I think, in the top 5 longest straights in the F1 calendar. And after that, there's a happen. There's plenty of overtaking overtaking opportunity there, especially because we've got a happen afterwards, and it's a DRS zone, and the exit matters a lot as the drivers go in their formation then. And also the start finish straight is an overtaking point, but you need to be really committed to overtake in that turn, because it's not a hard braking zone and you can go full throttle a little bit into that turn and really brake down, not a lot. I think you never brake down full brake in that turn, because it's just slight braking zone, and overtakes in that turn are always very interesting. And so we'll see how that unfolds. Those are also our 2 DRS zones. As I already said, tire wears on this track is really high. The softs you use to qualifying only last around 5 to 6 laps, which is not a lot. You definitely, when you start on the soft, need to do a 2-stop, because you can't do soft hard. That's just not a thing, because one of the tires will explode. I think that's a fact. And when you start on a medium, which I think 2 drivers do, which I can have a look now at, because I think 2 drivers start on the mediums. No, we've got a lot more drivers starting on the mediums. We've got Martin, the only one in the top 10, starting on the mediums, and Pergy, Obliviate, Shade, Ryan, Ice1 and Andre also starting on the mediums, which will be pretty interesting to see how that unfolds, because normally when you've got a normal race without safety cars, you can do a medium hard strategy, which normally is faster. But since we're in a league race, and it happens that when you have got real people racing, you've often got safety cars, that it might also be faster to do a 2-stop, and medium runners might do a 2-stop, because when there's a lot of safety cars, it often pays out to do an additional stop and be on a faster tire the time you're racing. You know what I mean? As they're just going to the hairpin, and we see all the drivers in the background heating their tires. As Amirul the McLaren leads the field, and it's a very surprise result, because we've got no of the championship running teams, the teams that are going for the championship running in first places, and we also have got Haas, which is a team leading, actually only with 1 driver, who's Andre, who starts last. So that might be very interesting unfolding in the Constructors' Championship. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's the season finale of Division 2 in Aerodynamix racing, as the last cars line up on the grid. Everyone is line. We've got 5 red lights. And it's go time here at the Shanghai Grand Prix. As the runner of Tink gets an absolute flying start. He's already past the past the rapper of Alex and already into P2. Starting from P4. Is he going to try dive down the inside of Emiru? No, he's not. Oh, he does try the dive. But I think he's not gonna make that move sticks. And so Emiru is in the lead as we've got a yellow. Did something happen? Yeah! Shade spun! And drops back a lot. And we've got Andre, one of the big winners of the start, already in P13. As we've got another yellow flag. So we've got a lot of yellow flags now. And another one. I think Shade's tires are completely gone now, I think they all, as per he retires from the session. He crashed out of it, yeah, looks like it. We see that AlphaTauri just laying at the side, I don't know what happened. As Tink also crashes out of the race, who had an absolute flying start. As we got a virtual safety car. Looks like he's lying outside on that turn. Yeah, he is. But we have no real safety car though. As Drewitt and Andy Turner are pit under virtual safety car. We've also got the Williams of Akram going in there. So a few people pitting for new tires. And maybe also wondering, but that's a medium runner pitting. I wouldn't want to pit if I'm a medium runner right now, to be honest. I don't know what their strategy is gonna be. Well, as a soft runner I would definitely pit now, go for the medium so I can go through the race with only another stop. Yes, you see the projected pit strategy just in the bottom there. As Gresco gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. And what's that other penalty? Yeah, we've got 2 drive-throughs. The other drive-through we have is for Akram. I actually didn't see that popping up, but he also has a drive-through penalty. I assume also for speeding under virtual safety car. Yeah, that's what happens when you are not following the rules. You get yourself a drive-through penalty. We'll see what happens in the lead. Is Andre going to try and move down the inside of Brian? But I think he's not close enough for that. But he breaks himself really there. As they both run a bit wide, as both lock up their front right tire. And I also don't know what that's supposed to be. Thank you, Codemasters. You're not masters of coding. Ice One is left behind. Well, that's awkward as Gresco goes in. First penalty and Shade sets the fastest lap of the race for AlphaTauri. As Iceman drops down because he is left, but there's another yellow in sector 1, and there's not now. Is Iceman really already a lap down, or is he not? I don't know what that's supposed to be honest. If that's just a bug from Codemasters, as we've got a yellow in 2 sectors, as there has been a collision, and I think Martin is one of the people who got caught out by that. And Andre, really somewhat took profit. He started in P16, now is already P6, but he has to put in a performance like that because He's driving for the team that wants to win the Constructors' Championship on this day. But we've also got the Drivers' Championship leader, Jules, in P9. So, lot down, not what you would expect, as Emerald sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 1:35.369. As we've got another yellow in Sector 1. That yellow is gone again. I don't know what's with all those yellows. But yeah, everyone came through the race clean now. We've got 2 DNFs. But as we've got a Williams to spun. I don't know if he has wing damage, we will have a look, but he spun out of that snake turn. I want to see if he has a damaged wing. Thank you, TV camera. No, his swing looks fine. As we've got the raffle dropping right here, something happened there. Did something happen to his front wing? No, it didn't. But yeah, the gaps are too big to have any battles. As Amaru spun around, did he collide with someone? He's out of the lead. The McLaren driver goes out of lead and Andre sails past. He's really on a mission. He wants to make the Constructors' Championship for Haas a clear go. As the pace of AlphaTauri and Red Bull seem to be nowhere, as the first AlphaTauri is in P8 and the other ones are, and the Ferraris are in P9 and 10, and the other AlphaTauri just DNF'd. So basically Andre just needs to drive this into the finish line so they win the Constructors' Championship. But that's easier said than done. As Amiru has to pit, I assume he is damaged. No, he does not, but it's lap 5, yeah, you need to pit after 5 laps. With soft tires, I told you, because soft tires don't last at this track at all. And we've got Gresco in the pits, and I think my yellow flags are a bit buggy today. I apologize and excuse for that. I don't know why there's always a yellow, but yeah, it happens. There's yellow flags again. As Gresco gets himself a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line on pit exit. But yeah, that's a really boring race currently. We had a few spins, a few DNFs, but nothing too special, no safety cars, and especially we don't have a good battles because everybody has like 2 seconds of time between them. So we need to see how we get through the time, as we got another yellow, but I assume that's again nothing, just by game glitching around a bit. As we've got Animeister pitting, also going for new tires. Let's look what the tire he's going for. As he goes for the medium. I think Gresco's spun again. Let's hope there's something crazy happening after the first round of pit stops. Some fights or something. We're just following the Red Bull TS Alex now because nothing is happening and we look at his onboard, but well, just go on the onboard of Animeister because he's following Jury and he's definitely quicker. So we see what happens. As we see Verby going into the pits and also looks like he's going for the medium, and Alex pitting from the lead to go onto a fresh set of mediums. And let's still follow Aerodynamix because he's still a lot quicker than Jui, and I assume he's going to try an attack in the next long straight, the DRS straight. So Jui really pushing so he can get into the DRS window of Shade, so Andy isn't able to attack as strong because the DRS is very strong on that straight because it's just such a long straight. And Jui seems to do it. He's in the DRS of Shade. And it's already, I think he's already trying to move it to that turn, but that wouldn't be very smart to try to move, and he's not gonna do it. So we might have a 3-wide battle now on that next straight. So I think the Ferrari moves next to the AlphaTauri, and the Williams of Aerodynamix are just behind. Well, Ferrari moves past of the AlphaTauri, but he's still hanging in. But he brakes a bit too late. There's a bit of contact there, and Aerodynamix might be the one that profits from it and snags himself P4, but they're still side by side. No, Aerodynamix is taking P4. As both. Oh, and that's a big crash. Jui and Shade both spin out of the last turn, and the Red Bull of TS Alex just drives directly into them. But there's nothing Alex really could have done. They're both in the way, and after, you don't really see a lot after that turn. So yeah, and it's not their fault because they both spun. That looked a bit silly because they both spun like exactly the same thing. But yeah, was really good move by Aerodynamix, profiting from those two fighting and the AlphaTauri braking too late. And yeah, I think I saw some front wing pieces flying away. So I don't know if someone of them has damage. We can look at Alex's front wing, but I think he's missing his right front end plate, if I see that correctly. The Aerodynamix is completely fine. I think, yeah, yeah, Alex is missing his right end plate. Juri is missing nothing, and the other car which was involved was Shade. He's also missing his right end plate. I don't know if that's enough for them to pit for damage, or if they can hang on onto that until the next round of pit stops. But I think the smartest thing for them would to hope for a safety car or for the next pit stop and fix it there. But we'll see if they come in or not. As Amiru and Jui are in the fight, Amiru brakes a bit too late as Jui moves past again. Is Amiru going to try down and move down the inside like a madman? No, he's not. As Alex goes into the pits again for a second pit stop, I assume because he has that wing damage. I think that's too much of wing damage. Even if you're missing one impact, you have a lot of understeer in every turn. So he's getting himself a new wing and the hard tire. I assume he wants to finish the race on that compound. And I think 90 laps on the hard tire is definitely tasks you can do. But it's still gonna be hard. As Shade also pits for damage. Yeah, that end plate missing is just too much damage. As we see Aerodynamix right up the tail of Martin 69er. And we've got another battle going on behind them between Amiru and Jui. So let's see how they go through that turn. Aerodynamix are taking a different line. I guess he wants to carry more speed through that turn. Let's see how it goes. Marty doesn't have any DRS to any driver in front of him, and that's gonna be a relatively easy move. But let's see if Aerodynamix wants to hang on. No, I think there's no chance he's going to hang on onto that place. As he locks up, and Aerodynamix goes a bit too deep, but he can't do anything about it. Is Amiru going to try to move down the inside? No, he's not. as Emiru tries to move into that turn. They're side by side still, the two drivers. But I think he's past him. Or is Chewie still able to pull off a move in the next turn? He needs to have the DRS though. And let's just say something about Andre, currently driving in P2, starting 16th on the grid. That's just amazing what this guy is pulling off here. But let's see if Chewie can launch a counter attack on that back straight. But I think he's out of the DRS window, so really good driving from Emiru, bringing in that hot lap and driving himself out of DRS range. As we see Alex right up the tail of Obliviate, and he's making the gap smaller and smaller every meter they're running. But he doesn't take that turn very nicely. But he still got past Obliviate. But I think that's not the smart move to do, because Obliviate now has the slipstream almost right off at that turn, and he will have the DRS now, so he can launch an easy counter attack. He activates the DRS. Alex goes to defend on the inside of that turn. Is Obliviate going to make the move stick down the outside? Yeah, that's not bad. They're still side by side, the two drivers. But Obliviate now has the inside line in that next turn. And he's passed, but he's off the track. As they are still side by side, the two cars. But Obliviate has to give in. Is he going to be able to launch a counter attack in that first turn? No, he's not. Alex is through. Driving slightly different line through that turn. Wants to carry a little bit more speed through that turn. He carries a lot more speed. He's in the slipstream, he comes closer and closer, but that's not enough. Will he be able to launch an attack on the back straight and make it stick this time? That's the question we're all asking. As he flies off the track and spins round in the gravel trap. Well, that's how this unfolds. He just couldn't cope with the pressure. As Andre is in the pits for his first, but I assume he's also going to take the hard tires, so he can make the whole race on that, because, yeah, as I said, with the Red Bull, hard tires are now going to last until the end, and he's one of the medium starters, so the tires will last, which is very good. But there's still nothing going on, so let's see at the tire situation currently. As we see, no one being on the softs, because as I said in the beginning, the softs are not lasting on this track at all. And we've got a few people on the mediums that I assume need to pit again. And we've got two people running the hards, and I assume those people don't need to pit again. Yeah, we've got Brian on the medium, Martin on the medium, Chewie, Andy on the medium, who we're currently driving with, Akram, Obliviate, and Ice on the medium, who have 8 to 11 lap mediums, who all need to pit again for hards, but I think everyone will go in hards now, except those people who have the mediums, which are not that old, like Burbis, Shade, and I think that's it. And we might also do a medium now, so we've got people going for the medium and the hard now, after that. And yeah, no soft, and almost everyone is going to have to do one stop again for the hard, except those people who are on the hard, and those people who are on younger mediums can do another medium stint, so that will also be interesting. Yeah, Martin, as expected, going for the medium tire. As we see Ryan in the lead, not doing his pit stop. I think he needs to do it now though, because he's on that mediums, 12 laps now, and he also drove with them in qualifying, so those tests are not good anymore. I think he has to pit now, or else he's just going to lose too much time to those people behind him, because those mediums aren't good enough anymore. We also see Aerodynamix really catching up to him. Just 0.3 of a second on that straight. I think Ryan needs to come in now and fit in a set of hard tires, I assume. Can't fit the set of medium tires because he started on the medium, and needs to drive on both compounds. And yeah, I assume he's just gonna go for the hard in this lap, but we'll see what he do. But I think it would be smart to stay out another lap on the hards, on the mediums, because they're just too worn. As I said, he's going into the pits. Let's see if someone behind him is also going into pits, like Julie or Andy. As Obliviate gives up the session. He's out of the session. What happened to him? Did he DNF or something like that? As Iceborne is going for another pit stop, and he's 3 laps behind. And that's strange. He takes out Andy because he's super laggy. He just glitched out of the pits. He was going into the pits, he glitched out of the pits, was at no speed on the straight, and he ran right in the back of him. And we've got a safety car. That's weird. Thank you, Bugmasters, for making such an amazing game. But yeah, I assume like everyone is going to use that for his next for the next round of pit stops, and everyone is going to fit another set of hearts. So we'll have a full force battle with everyone being on the hards. I think no one is going to go for the medium, because the medium is not going to make the 14 laps. But the safety car is out there, so someone might try, because you've got almost no tire wear on those mediums. But I assume everyone's going to go into the pits, as Shade goes for the soft tire. Now that's an interesting choice. Yeah, as I said, I assume almost everyone is going to go into the pits, and he's the first one to go there. Emiru also going into the pits. Yeah, that's like every driver going to the pits. I would pay attention to Iceborne, guys, if you're driving directly behind him, because he's like really lagging and stuff. Of course, you got Yuri going into the pits. I assume Ryan and Andre will be the ones, or the hard runs will be the ones who are not pitting. But let's see if Aerodynamix comes out in the lead. Yes, he is. Aerodynamix is coming out in the lead. And that safety car looks very good for him now to win the race and claim so many points for Williams. After this we get Amiru and yeah, Jui. As I said, they might try the mediums, because on the safety car you have like no tire use, but those mediums will be at the edge of exploding after that stint. So we see how the race unfolds for those. Andre, you've got also Andre going for new hearts. No, he was already on those hearts. Ryan going for a new set of medium. Alex going for a new, also going for a slightly used set of medium, which is 2 laps old, so not too old. We've got Shade staying out on the soft tires. So you got a driver with soft that has to stop again. I think that's not the right choice for me. I think he has to pit for either medium or hard, because the softs are not going to make the race. Akram and Gresko, who are both on fresh tires. And Iceborne, the one that caused the safety car. So I assume the safety car will stay out another lap, because like the whole field is spread on the entire circuit. They need to wait for the Ferrari of Gresto to come up behind them, and also Akron and the AlphaTauri and Red Bull. So the safety car is going to stay out another lap. Start P40, let's see where you finish. Who are you in the game? Ryan? You're the McLaren in P7, aren't you? Yeah. Really strong drive from you. And I also like the drive from Andre, who started in P16 and is now in P4. So we've got a few people who are trying a last and first challenge in this race. Really strong driving. You're really going for that P4 in the Constructors' Championship. You and your McLaren teammate. Because, yeah, the Racing Point is already out. And so I assume if the McLaren don't do some shit in this race, and both DNF themselves, McLaren takes P4 in the Constructors' Championship. And maybe they also are able to take more in the Constructors' Championship. Which might be that they take more in the Constructors' Championship. Because Ferrari is still in range and both well, we got Chewy in P3. But yeah, maybe if Chewy drops back massively, we don't know. We don't know what happens there. But I think the safety car will restart the race now. They're just waiting for Bresco to close up. And I still got the whole snake turn in the straight for that. So we're just following Bresco around the circuit now. Nice circuit, I have to say. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap, so let's see how that restart unfolds. And let's see if Amirul and Jui can challenge Animeister for the lead on their fresher compound of tires. He accelerates, but Amirul behind him has the chance to overtake him in the first turn. As Iceman takes a lot of places, I don't know how. But he forces Animeister off as Amirul takes first place in this race. Is the Ferrari of Jui going to make something against that wave? It's around the outside there. But he's not going to be able to make that move stick. Is Iceborne going to profit from that lockup from Martin? No, he's not. As we see Ryan almost getting past Iceborne multiple times. I think he's going to try and move on the next straight. Yeah, but he's not fast enough to catch up. But now he is. Iceborne moves to the inside. That might have been a mistake. Because Ryan might be able to make a switchback. Yeah, that's what I said. He's trying the switchback on Iceborne. But he doesn't quite have the pace for that. Is he going to try another switchback? Yes, he is. That's a beautiful move. As he moves past the Renault of Iceborne. But is he going to be able to make the move stick? Yes, he's But he moves a bit wide, and Ice One still is able to dive down the inside. We've got Ryan on the outside. But he now has the inside light for the next turn, and he makes that move stick. But that was a beautiful move, and that maybe gives the rest of TS Alex a chance to get past Ice One. Because of the two fighting. As Ice One spins on the grapple trap and goes into last place again. Let's see if he's going to try move, but we'll have DRS activated next lap again. So yeah, next lap we'll have some good fighting again, I assume. Because Shade is... Oh, Akram moves a bit wide. Is Shade going to profit from that? As DRS gets activated again. But no, he's not. But we'll see what they will do in this race. As Ison gets past Verbix, because Verbix pits, maybe he has damage. Looks like it. Yeah, he has damage on his right front end plate. Yeah. Going for another set of mediums. He's definitely going to make the whole race on that tire. But we've got Ryan right at the back of Martin in P6. As Martin spins round in that snake turn. Well, that won't be any hard for Alex to get past him then. But he's now right up the tail of Ryan. Does he have the DRS? Yeah, I think he has it. But that's not enough to launch a move down the inside. But Martin's really close behind Shade. But something weird is going on with that engine when we are in TV mode. But is Shade going to launch a counter attack like a nice switchback? No, he's not. But he now has the DRS on the next DRS thread. So maybe he's going to try a move in the inside. Yeah, he tries the move. Is he going to make that move stick? Both drivers will driving with the 69, and there's a little bit of contact there as Martin moves wide and goes onto the grass, and Shade moves past him. But we've got the battle for fourth really intensifying between four drivers. We've got Alex in sixth, Ryan in fifth, and Andre in fourth, only all having 1 second between them. As there's the yellow in sector 2, and I think that's Ice One again. And Ice One retires from the session. We've got Ryan right behind Andre and TS Alex right up the tail of them, so that might be a brilliant free white move and that's than the hairpin. Andre really needs to pay attention because the McLaren and the Red Bull are both really close to him. Andre moves to the right, the McLaren of Ryan moves past him. But Andre just keeps the position, brilliant defense from him. But is the McLaren going to launch a switchback in that turn? No, he's not, but he again has the DRS. As Alex is next to the McLaren and is past him. Is Alex also going to try to attack Andre? No, he's not, but he maybe has to just to take... Maybe just he has to take watch. Now they're battling in that turn, but he tries to stick as Ryan goes in a little slide there as he touches the back of the Red Bull of TS Alex there. Who is right up the tail of Andre, takes a bit of grass there and is trying to move down the inside in the hairpin. Is he going to move past? They're still side by side. As Andre has the inside for that next turn, and Andre moves fast again. That's a brilliant battle for fourth. Alex again is trying to move around the outside, but he's not going to make that move stick. Now he's right behind on the next straight. Is the McLaren of Ryan again going to make a move? No, he's not. But we will have a similar situation like in last lap on the DRS straight again. Two drivers with the DRS within 1 second of the third driver in the group. But brilliant exit from Andre out of that turn. The Red Bull of Alex just needs to have attention on Ryan, because Ryan is right up the tail of him. Is he going to attack the Red Bull? Yes, he is. Down the inside. No, yeah, he is. They're still side by side. But Alex looks like he's going to be able to keep that position. That's just really good racing from those three guys. And Andre is still keeping that position, although he's on the hard tire. He's just waiting for the two guys behind him to use their mediums, so the mediums are not that good anymore. As Alex tries to move down the inside again, which goes to the outside, but he's not really making something out of that. But they're on the radio straight again. As Alex, he tries to move, but he's not going really to make one, because that would not be an intelligent move, because they're moving on the DRS straight again. As we've got those three fighting again, and maybe Akram is going to intervene with that too, because when they're fighting they're slow, and Akram is really making time on them. And we've also got the AlphaTauri of Shade coming into that battle too. But yeah, nothing happens this lap in that turn, but maybe on the next DRS straight we'll see some moves. As we've got the Red Bull right up the tail of Adriel, I think he's coming, he will try a move. Or won't he? No. Adriel is just a little bit too far away. That's just a brilliant battle for fourth between those three drivers. Never thought I'd see a Haas battle for fourth. Locks up his tires a bit, but that won't be the opportunity for Alex to try a move. But he's really close. If he can keep that close on the next straight, I think he can make a move and make that move stick. As we've got them going through that straight anymore and into the entry of the curvy snake turn. But Alex is really close behind this time, running through that turn. And they're going onto the straight. As Alex is really close this time to Andre, he's going to make a move. He got the slipstream, he got the DRS. And he goes to the inside, Andre defending on the outside. But Andre still has the ability to brake later. And they're side by side, the two cars. Andre maybe has to go a bit out, as Alex has spinning wheels on the curb. And Andre still stays in front. But Alex with the DRS now might have a chance to attack Andre. Andre moves to the outside, Alex goes to the inside. As you got Andre, I think Alex did a move that he made stick now. Wow, what an impressive battle of those three guys for the last 5 laps. As Martin pits for another set of tires. He goes for another set of soft. I don't know if he has damage. I was so occupied with the battle. But I think Andre is just going to be flying through the back now. But I think Ryan is also going to try and move on Andre this lap. But Alex already drove himself a 1.5 second gap to Andre because his hard tires are just not that quick. He has the DRS and he flies to the rear of Andre. He goes to the inside, Andre to the outside. As Andre locks up a bit. And they have a little bit of contact there. As Ryan still sticks for the outside. They go through the final turn. And I think he moved past. But is Andre able to launch a counter attack? He has the DRS now. Yes, he is. Going into turn 1. As he goes through down the inside and he is past Ryan again. And right now I also have the Williams of Akram right up the tail of the two, so we have a 3 people battle again. But Andre sticks with his 5th place. While Alex still has a 2.7 second lead. Or again, he really drives crazy, so Andre is not his DRS window. As Andre spins round and he's out of the race. And that blows the Constructors' Championship wide open. And we've got a virtual safety car too. And I think that's it. Haas can't be Constructors' Champions anymore. Except something really bad happens to Ferrari. Well, let's just do some calculating here. Haas doesn't score any points. They're 12 points ahead of AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri right now would score 12 points. No, they would not. They're in P7. That are... Those are 6 points they would score now. So it would still be in front of AlphaTauri. But Ferrari is only 19 points behind. And Ferrari is currently on 19 points. So that would be a draw between them. That's just crazy. That would be a draw in the Constructors' Championship. I've never seen that before. That's just insane. With Tree scoring 15 points. And Glasgow scoring with 4 points, that's 90 laps difference, 19 points difference, and so we will have a draw in the Constructors' Championship. Did that ever happen in the history of F1? I think not. Wow, that's just insane. I've never seen a draw in the Constructors' Championship anymore. We need to have a look who has the fastest lap right now, because that can be game changing. No, Amaru has the fastest lap right now. So that doesn't change anything, because he's in the McLaren. That's super close. But I think after that it's calculated how many wins everyone has. Wow, I'm amazed how insane this season is. But maybe Shade gets himself a few places. Because with currently 6 points, he would not earn enough points for his team. As Shade moves into P6, but he still has got his 3 second time penalty. And if you look at the gaps now, he still has to get a gap to Akram. And Shade needs to move into 4th place, and I think that's the thing that's impossible. That's super insane. If I'm not mistaken, we have a draw. And it's only 2 laps remaining, so I think we won't see a change of position. except if one of the Ferraris just pulls out a fast lap out of nowhere, but their tires are really worn. I think they won't do that. So yeah, just really interesting situation. I've never seen that in my life before. Wow. As Emerald crosses the final corner and goes into the final lap of the race. And we're just right behind back Akram, who just knows he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Shade to get that 6th place. But he's trying to move. Shade runs wide. That's an insane battle. Aston Williams goes off the track. Was he forced by Shade? I didn't see that correctly, but it looked a bit like that, yeah. So Akram just needs to pull out the lap of his life, so he still gets a P6 after the penalties are calculated. Wow. As Amiru goes through that 6th turn a final time in this race. As Amiru goes through the final corner, crosses the finish line and wins this race for McLaren, which gives McLaren the 4th place in the Constructors' Championship. Nicely done, McLaren. Now that's insane. If it really is like I think that we have a draw, pointly wise in the Constructors' Championship, I will let you know after the race in the comments of the race who won and why, because I think that's kind of important when you have a season finale to know who's champion. But in the Drivers' Championship we've got Jules taking the 1st place, but that already was clear before we started the race, because he just was very dominant there. And yeah, we just need for Grass put around that final turn and finish. No, you have a draw in Constructors' Championship. I've never seen that before. Yeah. Yeah, nice race, really well driven by Amiru. Yeah. I will see you in the next stream. You can subscribe to my channel. I stream regularly. I stream my own races in Division 2, driving them, and I'm also planning on streaming other things. And yeah, I hope you liked the race. It was the season finale. As I said, I will update you in the comments who won the Constructors' Championship now. And yeah, I hope you liked it. And I will end the stream now.